Tell us about your nighttime routine. What's it looking like at the moment?
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, I take that nap, and then after my nap, I do a lot of my reactive work, like emails, social media, people needing to hop on last minute phone calls with me, all that shit that's kind of like not necessarily, that doesn't fall into the productive bucket, but it's kind of more reactive.
Yep.
Like I save all of that for later on in the day, because I'd rather strike while the iron is hot when I have low amounts of decision-making fatigue or cognitive fatigue early in the day and do a lot of my productive work. So I wake up from my nap, and typically, there's another hour and a half or two of just, kind of putting out fires, so to speak, right? Taking care of all the shit that would normally distract you earlier in the day. And then once I finish all that, I'll typically jump into a workout, and for me, I just finished my Russian kettlebell RKC cert. So for me, for the past few months, it's been, snatches, Turkish get-ups, goblet squats, usually a lot of concurrent strength endurance training. So I'm mixing that up with airdyne, sprints, rowing machine, just a lot of kind of circuit style work with the kettlebells.
Mm-hmm.
And typically it's something like that. Since I just finished that cert up last week, I'm kind of getting back into just basic weightlifting, right? Push, pull, hinge, etc. So either weight training or high intensity interval training in the afternoon or the early evening. Typically I'm working out from about kind of like that 5:30 to 6:30-ish range, right around in there.
I remember a little while ago you mentioned that you'd pivoted from performance to longevity. So probably about a year and a half ago, I think. Where's your goals at now?
Definitely longevity, because for years I was competing in Ironman triathlon and, racing for Reebok and Spartan training. And now I just want to feel good. I want to be strong, maintain muscle. Still, if anybody joins with me in a workout, they tell me I'm a pure masochist, but, even my workouts now are nowhere near, going out and crushing, 2 hours out in the mountains, or 5 hours on the bike. Like, you don't have to do any of that shit anymore. I'm working out like 40 to 60 minutes max. Right?
Your condition, based on your Instagram at the moment, your condition looks to be even leaner than you were. Looks to be the leanest I think I've seen you.
I'm about 185 pounds, around 4 or 5% body fat.
It's quite lean, Ben. That's quite lean.
Yeah, but I'm naturally lean. Like my dad's the same way. My dad doesn't really even do much training, and he's probably, he's 60 something. He's probably like 9% body fat. So a lot of that's genetics.
Good genetics.
I don't really go out of my way to like stay super lean, but my testosterone's fine, my thyroid's fine. So as long as my endocrine system is working fine, I'm okay with just maintaining where my body wants to be at.
Got you.
Because I'm a foodie. I eat a lot of food. I punish a lot of ribeye steaks and lard and ghee and liver, and my body doesn't hold on to a lot of fat. Honestly, it's just the way it goes. So, anyways, though, after that kind of like early evening ish workout that finishes up sometime around 6:30 or so. Typically after that, I'll make sure there's no more email fires to put out, no work that's left to be done. And then from about 7:30 on, it's all family time. Like we have these wonderful family dinners where we play board games and go over our gratitude journals and sing songs and just connect as a family. We all typically are gathering together and making the meal together, and everybody's contributing and cooking and laughing and playing music. And so from 7:30 until 9, it's just full on family time, dinner time. We finish dinner and then we go play more music. I'll read to the kids or play them some songs on the guitar. We don't really go out to restaurants that much, but typically it's just super duper focused and relaxed and fun family time, all the way up until after 9. And then typically by about 9:30 or so, the kids are tucked away. And then my wind down routine, in addition to those red lights, would be, as we're making that family dinner and, getting back into dinner, I've typically got, the blue light blocking glasses on again to start to, suppress any exposure to, to large amounts of blue light. I What else do I do?
How long are you aiming for with the blue light blocking glasses? 90 minutes, 2 hours before bed?
Yeah, it's usually about 90 minutes, 2 hours before bed. Unless I'm planning, like, whatever. If my wife and I want to have, a really intensive sex session or something, we plan on being up till 10:30 or 11, talking, having sex, stuff like that. Like, sometimes I'll just, like, purposefully not do a lot to wind myself down because I don't want to be tired.
I get you.
But yeah, I also, I tend to have a pretty raging appetite even after dinner. So I'll typically do something with glycine or gelatin in it, which really so I make Jello. I make Jello with just like some gelatin that I'll mix with coconut milk and a little stevia. Sometimes I'll put a prebiotic fiber in there, which also helps with sleep, like acacia fiber. And then I'll just put that in a food dehydrator for about a day and, stir that up, keep that in the fridge. And I'll just give myself a nice kind of like, a 2-inch by 2-inch piece of Jello at night. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of almond butter on that, a little touch of sea salt. And that's my go-to dessert for keeping my appetite satiated.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's because that gelatin, the glycine, just helps me go to bed and not feel hungry later on. So I'll have that typically for dessert after dinner, and then for the wind down routine. Other than that, what else do I do? My go-to supplements for sleep are CBD. I do about typically high dose CBD. Most of the research on CBD that shows that it enhances sleep uses a lot more than what they use for like the anxiolytic effect. Usually it's anywhere from 100 to 600 milligrams for sleep. So typically I'll take about 100 milligrams of CBD.
Sublingual?
Yep. I like the droppers. I find I respond best to that. Just hold it in the mouth for a couple of minutes. And then, like I mentioned, the little bit of glycine with gelatin. And then also, like I mentioned, magnesium. So CBD, magnesium, and then a little bit of that Jello. That's kind of like my go-to snack.
What's your magnesium supplement?
I'm using right now Mag SRT by Jigsaw Health. It's I think it's glycinate, threonate, and citrate, I think.
Got you. What's the dosage?
It's about 400.
Got you.
Yeah, so you just go to bowel tolerance, and man, when you mix that with having the vitamin C and the baking soda in the morning, it's great for the bowels as well. And then the red light, and then what I sleep on is I have a gravity blanket. I'm a big fan of, in addition to making sure you're sleeping in a cold environment, and you're paying attention to light, and you're paying attention to not having a lot of ambient noise in the bedroom. I think safety is big. So I don't work in bed. I never have my laptop in bed. I don't even keep business books or health and fitness books or anything like that up in the bedroom. It's all just like fiction or something not related to work. And then I also find when I pull like one of these big, breathable 25-pound gravity blankets over myself for sleep, it kind of amplifies that feeling of safety even more. So it's super duper relaxing for me. So I sleep with a gravity blanket on top and one of those chili pad devices underneath, because the chili pad will circulate about 55-degree cold water under my body while I'm sleeping, which really enhances your sleep cycles quite a bit. And then I've got an essential oil diffuser, and kind of like in my office, I'll diffuse uplifting scents like, peppermint, rosemary, etc. In the bedroom, it's usually like lavender or bergamot or some really relaxing scent that I'll diffuse while I'm asleep. And then same thing, I'll put on sleep blocking mask, some foam earplugs. I have an app called SleepStream on my phone, and there's a lot of research showing that there's all these different noises that can block out sound, like white noise or brown noise. It turns out that pink noise is the one that enhances your sleep the most. So I put some pink noise on that, and then let me think if there's anything else.
How are you doing that with the earplugs in?
Well, I got the foam earplugs in, but then the phone's in airplane mode next to the bed with the SleepStream app on, just playing pink noise.
Just out of your phone speaker?
Yeah, because we have like roosters and owls and all sorts of stuff out here in the forest, and so I just like to cover up that ambient noise. And then I use breath work to just kind of lull myself to sleep. Typically 4 count in, 7 count hold, 8 count out, and I'll do that for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll just doze off at that point, just kind of breathing myself to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.